Good evening everyone, here's our latest video update on Typhoon Utor, which is now beginning to move into the South China Sea or the West Philippine Sea after making landfall in the province of Aurora earlier this morning. The system last with approximately 260 kilometers northwest of the city of Dagupan in Pangasinan province, or about 410 kilometers northwest of Manila. Maximum sustained winds according to the Japan Meteorological Agency have decreased now to 130 kilometers per hour with gusts of up to 185 kilometers per hour. The system has also accelerated, moving west-northwesterly at 30 kilometers per hour. Now, looking at this latest visible satellite image, you can see the system at circulation and the tight banding moving into the warm waters of the West Philippine Sea, again exiting the coast here of Luzon. We still see some convection affecting western portions of Luzon. Could still see some light to moderate rains here over the next 3 to 6 hours, but for the most part, looks like the worst is over here for Northern Luzon. Remember, Utor made landfall as a strong Category 4 super typhoon at about 3 a.m. made landfall near the town of Casiguran, Aurora. And you can see this infrared image at the time of landfall. You can see that eye pushing onshore into the town of Casiguran near Dinalungan as well. Some very violent winds here, forecasting about 240 kilometers per hour near the center of the storm, and that could definitely bring some major damage to not only trees, houses, but also to infrastructure in that region. And we're starting to get reports of some really horrible situation out there, power out, communications down. So thankfully that landfall was captured by the Apari radar. Again, this is 3:15 a.m. Philippine time, and you can see the eye right over there pushing across into Aurora and into the town of Casiguran's heavy rains, not only those strong winds being reported here. And right now, though, system took quite a beating as it crossed into the mountainous terrain of Northern Luzon. We know some mountains here can rise up to 8,000, maybe even 9,000 feet, and that really disrupted the core of Utor. And you can see here in this latest infrared image, and this is the latest infrared image that we have now, the eye is no longer visible, obviously, and again, the system looks much more disorganized compared to when it made landfall. But you can also see that the central dense overcast, or the core of the system itself, remains intact. And looking at the microwave image, you can still see some really strong banding and convection occurring, particularly across the southwestern periphery of the storm. We're also starting to see improvement in terms of organization on the northwestern and northern periphery of the system, also indicated here in the infrared image. As I've said earlier, though, I still see some convection and some rains impacting parts of western Luzon. And looking at the latest radar here from Subic, you can still see some scattered to widespread moderate rains and even some pockets of heavy rains affecting parts of western Luzon, say the provinces of Zambales, Bataan, Pampanga, and even into Bulacan. Parts of northern Metro Manila could still see some isolated rain showers tonight. But for the most part, though, the heaviest rains are indeed over. Now moving on to the northern Luzon area, using the Apari radar as of 5 p.m. this afternoon, you can see here still some isolated rain showers affecting parts of the province of Cagayan, Isabela, and even into Aurora. But expect those rains to eventually die down as the system pulls away. Expect to see gradual clearing and improvement in the weather conditions out here in the region. Now, in terms of rainfall reports, using the Pegasus NOAA website, you can see some widespread reports of more than 100 millimeters of rainfall, just as we forecast yesterday, and even some pockets of really heavy rainfall, reports of up to 300, as much as 400 millimeters of rainfall being recorded in the province of Isabela here. Parts of Aurora, also Nueva Ecija, Nueva Vizcaya, Quirino getting as much as 200 to even 300 millimeters. Parts of La Union, Pangasinan, Benguet, even Baguio City reporting 200 millimeters. Dagupan reporting as much as 300 millimeters over the past 24 hours, and you can just imagine the amount of rainfall definitely increasing the likelihood of landslides and flash floods. As mentioned before, reports now coming in some widespread landslides here. Obviously, this is a mountainous area, and even a major artery connecting Baguio City to the lowlands, Cannon Road, has been closed because of the numerous landslides being reported there. Unfortunately, the stormy conditions did kill one person in this province. Hopefully that is the end of the reports. But more often than not, you'll start to hear more reports of deaths as the authorities get to the areas hardest hit, especially the isolated coastal towns out here in Aurora and Isabela. Now, if you have your own videos or photos or other reports, if you were in the path of Utor today, please feel free to share those photos or videos to us. Email us at philippineweather@yahoo.com, or head on to our website, westernpacificweather.com, or you can post comments and also upload your photos there. Now, in terms of the forecast track of this typhoon, now moving into the South China Sea, looking at the model consensus, showing a track towards the province of Guangdong, perhaps near the peninsula of Leizhou, passing well west of Hong Kong and well west of Macau. Overall, though, looking like it is getting into that area. Some pretty good consensus now being shown by the computer models, so we really won't expect any significant shift here anymore, unless of course the subtropical ridge actually weakens much faster than forecast. This is the latest layer mean wind analysis, the upper level flow pattern in the atmosphere, and again you can see a slight weakness here in southern China being induced by a weak trough moving across northern Asia here, and that again is weakening the western extent of that subtropical ridge. But we expect it to stay strong enough to force Utor south and not really directly impact Hong Kong. Speaking of Hong Kong, they are now under standby signal number 1 issued by the Hong Kong Observatory this afternoon, just signifying that that Utor is now within 800 kilometers of the area. Some precautionary warning from the agency. They're expected to increase actually to signal number 3 by tonight as the system moves closer to Hong Kong and the outer rain bands get closer to the region. Now, in terms of intensification, we still have some very warm waters out here in the West Philippine Sea, and over the next 12 to 24 hours still going to track some really high ocean heat content. But as it moves into, say, Tuesday and Wednesday, it will start tracking into somewhat cooler waters and also some higher wind shear. But nevertheless, we expect Utor to maintain its present Category 2 intensity as it moves in that northwesterly direction. Now, moving into the latest forecast from official forecasting agencies, beginning with Pag-asa, you can see here tracking northwesterly, expecting Utor to finally exit the Philippine area of responsibility by tomorrow morning as it heads towards southern China. Japan Meteorological Agency also showing the same forecast philosophy here of a generally west-northwestward track and then turning more to the northwest towards Guangdong province, again impacting that region, perhaps making landfall by as early as Wednesday evening or perhaps early Thursday morning. Finally, we have the Joint Typhoon Warning Center here. Almost similar forecast, and again starting to see some good confidence and some pretty good consensus, not only among the computer models but also with the forecast agencies in the region, and they are now expecting a landfall mainly across the Guangdong province, well west of Hong Kong here. Joint Typhoon Warning Center expecting Utor to make landfall as perhaps a strong Category 2 typhoon by Thursday morning. Again in this part of the world, affecting Guangdong province, Hainan Island, and even probably outer rain bands extending into Macau and even Hong Kong. And that ends our video update for this evening. Again, if you have those photos, feel free to share them with us. Email me at this email address right over here. And also, again, you can visit westernpacificweather.com, links below, and also like our Facebook page to get the latest updates, analysis, and forecast images for typhoons affecting the Western Pacific. And have a good night, guys, and stay safe.